This is South Florida Today.
All right, everybody, throughout the month of October, we're trying to raise awareness and put a stop to domestic violence, and that is the goal of my next guests. They are authors of the book That Defines the Light. Welcome, Anthony Pepe and Tori Morgenstein, guys.
How you doing, man?
It's a pleasure. I got to tell you, I know we're talking about a book here, but you don't want to judge a book by its cover, because honestly, you guys are walking through the studio, and I guess I was thinking to myself, oh, we're like doing like a Monster Garage piece or something. and it turns out you guys are poets. And you're looking to raise awareness about domestic violence. My first question is this something that has touched your lives on a personal note?
Well, it's kind of hard for it not to. Anybody really involved in something like this is always going to have like some kind of direct influence on them, like either their background or something like that. It has to have, otherwise it's hard to get passionate about it.
But did you guys grow up in homes that there was violence towards you or towards your mom or something like that?
Yeah, I think
Tori's experiences are more first-hand experiences. Most of my experiences are second-hand. I've heard the stories. I've always had that big brother image where people confide in me and want to come to me with, did this happen and this happened. And I have some personal issues, but they pale in comparison to the stories that I've heard and Tori's personal experiences.
I think also another point to the whole thing is the fact that one way or the other, we are all affected by it. It's not just something that like you could just kind of escape just because it didn't happen to you specifically. It is something that affects us all in a daily fashion. Like either it's happening to our sisters or our mothers. Even if you want to ignore what happens like in other people's homes, I mean, it's still out and about. You're seeing people you're interacting with, people we love, people you care for. Our sisters, our mothers, our daughters, our aunts. Like these are all people who these things happen to, and
And let me ask you guys, how do you use your poetry to raise awareness and to raise money, both?
Well, to raise awareness, through the book and the CD. Well, the CD hasn't been released yet, but the book has been released. A portion of the proceeds from the book, for the life of the book, will go to domestic violence awareness. We don't pick a specific organization right away. Like the show that we're doing on Thursday is for kids in distress.
October 6th.
October 6th. And speaking of the show, what we do is we'll put on a performance. We're performance poets. We met through the Poetry Slam circuit.
Yeah, all right, and boy, that's where I want to go with this whole conversation. But let me just ask you quickly, Anthony, do you, just because of your physical presence, and you got the tattoos, and you got the piercings, and you got the shaved head, and the little soul patch, visually, are people ever frightened of you?
Yeah.
That's kind of the point.
And that's part of the point. A lot of the pieces in the book, a lot of the pieces that we perform, they're very confrontational, aggressive, in-your-face pieces. A lot of I have nurturing pieces, I have enlightening pieces, I have healing pieces in the book, but my forte is more the confronting the abusers.
Can you guys give me an example of like your performance poetry?
Let's get right to the point. The medieval forms of evil performed on innocent lives over the years have built up such fears and rained down in tears that burn at my soul. And I want you to know that the medieval forms of evil to be performed on your soul for those innocents lost to your depravity can never be enough to touch the surface of the reparations due those touched by your aberrations.
And this is why you guys are called warrior poets.
Correct.
When I hear that term warrior poet, I think of the ending of Braveheart. they talk about how the Scotsmen fought like warrior poets.
Yeah, that's
It's a funny story unto itself.
Yeah, it's a little background piece on both of us, but the point of the warrior poets is it's something we both kind of carried within us. We've both been writers, in our hearts for the longest time. We both come from pretty rough backgrounds, not even talking about family style, just youth-wise. We've both come up pretty hard, and we've come a long way. And here we are, like now we are incorporating all these facets into our poetry, and it's about confrontational poetry, about using your poetry as a weapon, as a tool, as a vehicle to like drive forward and get things done.
Tori, Anthony, thank you guys very much. I got to tell you, I started this interview by saying don't judge a book by its cover. The command that you have of the English language is so impressive, and the fact that you're doing something good for it, you know what? If I had a hat on, I'd be taking it off because I'm pretty darn impressed. And for more information about That Defines the Light, or for details about their performances and their fundraisers, just log on to our website, NBC6.net. Once you're there, you know the drill. You click on South Florida Today, and we're going to connect you. It's awesome.